Edmund Fitzgerald, I remember that vividly, the disaster. And when the song came out, it was gripping. Something you never forget if you're from there.
Well, nobody actually knew that it would be released as a single anyway in the first place. So it was written as a song for an album song, and all of a sudden it was released as a single. And I remember we shortened it. We had to shorten some of the instrumentals on that one to get it in, so we could get into the top 20 because it was too long to get into top 20 radio. So we did it. We didn't lose any of the lyrics or any of the verses or anything, but we cut all the instrumentals in half for the single. I remember we cut it down from 6:15 to 4:30 or something like that. And they said, "You better do this, Gord, because we want to see this thing. We want to see it stop, like Fitzgerald did." That was quite an experience, having written that song, I must say, in all seriousness. And
I'm sure.
I've gotten to know most of the people and relatives and people who knew all the guys. They had one event in Sioux, Michigan, where they had over 800 people who were directly related to it just a few years back.
It's an extraordinary song and an extraordinary hit record. The more you think about it.
It's as much as an accident as the ship itself. It just happened that way.
So many of your songs that stand out, in addition to Edmund Fitzgerald, and stand out not only for your versions of them, but songs that were picked up by so many other artists. And I was mentioning Early Morning Rain is the Dylan version that I heard. But
there were a lot of recordings on that song,
yeah.
And I think Peter, Paul, and Mary, and Ian and Sylvia were the first to do it, and I think that the version that I liked best was Elvis's version, because it had that lonely feeling to it, and I was quite thrilled when.
How did he get the song?
I have no idea. It just all of a sudden there it was, a recording.
Or what about someone like Marty Robbins with?
I didn't know about that one either.
Yeah, Ribbon of Darkness.
And they sped it up. They actually improved my performance on it by listening to their performance.
And people just happened to find the songs on their own. You weren't sending people out pitching or.
Well, I was with M. Whitmark and Sons at that time, an ASCAP firm. With Artie Mogul was the president. Artie Mogul, you probably know him, and he was a great song plugger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Lucky for me. Yeah.
Growing up in Canada, is it a different kind of songwriting vibe to it that we picked up on here? Are songs the same wherever they come from, do you think?
Wherever you go, you got to burn the midnight oil and stay up all night.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't hurt to take a couple of bennies
Exactly.
at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Around to it. Lots of coffee. I used to use alcohol as a fuel, but I gave up alcohol in 1982. But up until that time, I was working real well. I wondered if I'd ever be able to write again when I stopped, but it came around. I had to. I was under contract. I had a band. I had an orchestra. I had a crew. I made 20 albums.
Were there any songs of yours that stood out in terms of people that covered them? Do you have any favorites?
I love Barbra Streisand doing If You Could Read My Mind. And, I could think of lots more. It's hard.
So many.
Yeah.